All right. Hey guys, Brad here at Delivery Driver Academy. Thanks for coming by today. The purpose of this video is to basically screen out the guys that I'm not looking for. All right. So we got to get our definition straight. I'm looking for owner operator cargo van delivery drivers. I'm talking about full size cargo vans. The older versions of this are the Chevy Express, anywhere from 2005 onward. Another example would be my personal favorite are the older Ford E series, like the E150, the E250, going back to really anything in the mid 2000s all the way up. Even the modern Ford Transits are great. Ram ProMaster, not my favorite. Typically guys that show up with a Ram ProMaster, it's a bigger vehicle, high roof, extended frame, burns a lot of gas. I like the guys that show up in the slightly older vehicles that are reliable and maybe they're mechanically inclined and they keep their vehicles running great. Because why give your money to the bank for a financed vehicle that you're overpaying for when you can just get an older vehicle that runs great if you are mechanically inclined and you can stay on the money? So look, so the first thing I want to do, let's talk about some definitions so we can make sure that you're the right kind of driver with the right equipment that I'm looking for. Okay? Let's clarify a couple of things. All right. So OTR, over the road, this is really tractor trailer drivers mostly. And I do get a lot of those guys coming to me and I just turn them away. So I don't want to waste your time. If you're an OTR guy, and I have hired a couple of OTR guys over the last few years, and typically it doesn't work out. Of course, there may be an exception, uh, very rare, and it's unlikely that I will work with you only because I have too many qualified van drivers, cargo van drivers. So I'm going to go with one of them rather than giving an OTR guy a chance because he's sick of being on the road. He's been on the road 15 years and now he has a van, always had a van sitting in his driveway. He wants to get off the road because his wife is giving him the blues because he's never home. So he wants to now be at home and do final mile delivery. My experience is that transition is really rough. So I don't want to go there. Expediting can be similar to OTR. Expediting happens using trucks and vans, definitely smaller than trailers. Expeditors really grind it out though. They're doing more driving than they are handling the freight. An expediter, an example would be, hey, go to Richmond and pick up an airplane part. It's just small enough that they don't want to hire a trailer for it, but it's big enough that it kind of makes sense for a guy in a full-size high roof cargo van. So you go to Richmond, they load this weird part onto your vehicle and you drive it to Chicago. That's an example of expediting. And sometimes these expeditors, they'll be out in the world for 3 weeks and they typically use the larger size cargo vans, like a high roof van. Some of them have double wheels in the back, extended frame. The Ram ProMaster is a popular one. The Ford Transit 350 with the high roof. These are examples of expeditors. Those guys, when it's on, those guys make a lot of money and they're using less gas in a trailer. There's other challenges as well, but that's the deal with expediting. Now, hot shot trucking, rather. These are the big old pickup trucks. A lot of times they're diesel, 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder. They can haul a ton of weight. And they've got these enormous trailers. They got the gooseneck in the back of the pickup, and they hook these enormous wood-decked trailers on it. And they might transport a piece of a construction equipment like a backhoe, or they might transport construction material. Those guys are also making great money. Typically, those guys are sleeping at home. Although, yeah, of course, there's examples of guys taking big equipment, wide loads, whatever, to far away construction sites. So, yeah, they might be sleeping out at a small hotel and whatnot. I forgot to mention the expediters quite often have an air mattress in their vans, the expediters, and they just sleep in their van, save the hotel money. But, these things wear you out after a while. So really what I'm into is the final mile delivery. That's the industry I'm in. That's where all my connections are. That's what I come from as a former cargo van driver. So final mile delivery is very similar to Amazon, FedEx, UPS, all these apps that people are using locally, Roadie, Veho, Sparks, whatever. This is you're getting up in the morning, you're grabbing freight, you're delivering it during the day, and you're going home at night. That's final mile delivery. What I am connected to is much more the Amazon style of delivery. That means you're loading up your vehicle with 50 to 150 packages and you're not stopping until they're all delivered. This can take anywhere from 6 to 12 hours. What I would really say about final mile delivery work, and this is why I want you to screen yourself out and don't come into me. Don't try to get at me and get this contract If you're an OTR guy and an expediter or a hotshot trucker, it's not for you. This is for final mile delivery guys. I'm talking about guys that have already done Amazon. Maybe you started as an Amazon employee, or maybe you were a FedEx employee and you got burned out and you realize, they're running you, trying to make you more and more efficient. So you're moving real fast, but you're not making any more money because you're getting paid by the hour. I actually love those kind of drivers. I love a driver who has spent at least a year with Amazon or FedEx or UPS, and they're disillusioned. They're kind of grumpy about it. Man, what is this? They keep telling me I got to go faster, deliver more packages, but you're getting paid by the hour. So whereas you come in with me, you get a contract. The more you take, the more you deliver in a short amount of time, the more money you make per hour. So I see my guys making roughly, after gas, because keep in mind, you're an owner operator. You have to own your own vehicle. My guys are making roughly $25 an hour in general, after gas, roughly. That's what's happening. Okay. So, but the thing is, I'm not going to take an OTR guy or an expediter or a hotshot trucker and watch him get fatigued and burned out after day 3 and then quit. I'm not wasting my time doing that. The reason I'm talking like this, because I've been through this. Okay. I'm experienced. I know what I'm looking at. I know how it works. And I know the ideal type of driver when I meet him. And this might be you. If you've got experience delivering 50 to 250 packages a day, because I know sometimes Amazon, their routes are so dense and compact, you could do 250 packages, in a 9-10 hour day. So with us, we're going to get to the money in just a second, but with us, we're not delivering that many packages, but our packages aren't as tightly condensed as, say, an Amazon or UPS or FedEx. But in the end of the day, you're going to make more money. So keep that in mind. All right. Now, speaking of money, let's hop on over to this next graphic and talk about the bottom line. Okay. So I'm basically running 3 different types of contracts. And in short, I'm just giving you the quick and dirty here. $200 a day guaranteed minimum is the smallest contract that I have for a cargo van. This is a full-size cargo van. So don't come into me talking about a minivan or a car or a station wagon. And let me just stop you right there. If you got an SUV and you've been doing Amazon Flex and you're looking at these numbers, yeah, but I can do it because I put the seats down and I have all this space. I have a huge, Cadillac Escalade. Well, first of all, you want to deliver packages in a $40,000, $50,000 vehicle? That makes no sense. You're burning gas like crazy. I'm talking about guys in a cargo van, like an E150, E250, Chevy Express, Ford Transit, Dodge Ram ProMaster, Mercedes Sprinter. For a full-size cargo van, I like the smaller ones because you're going to get better gas mileage and you're not burning unnecessary fuel with all of this wind resistance. If you have a high roof, it's not very likely you're going to use that additional space with a high roof van or an extended frame van. So I don't like to bring on guys that I don't think it's economic. Look, I know you want to work, and there's guys that practically beg me for a contract, but if you got the wrong vehicle, it's just not going to work. I've been through this before. So if I hire you, then 3 weeks later, if you make it to 3 weeks, you're going to be complaining to me about the gas. Well, yeah, because you got a high roof extended frame van with 2 wheels on the back and it's an 8-cylinder. Get out of here. It's the wrong thing. Give me a guy with a 2013 Chevy Express or a 2009 E150 6-cylinder that you take good care of and it's running good and it's not a rust bucket. You're going to make some money and you're going to sleep at home every night. All right. So let's get back to the money. So $200 a day guaranteed minimum up to 72 packages. You go over 72 packages and it's $2.50 for each additional package. So a typical day, this is, by the way, I'm talking about Monday through Friday, full time, Monday through Friday, full time. I don't do any gig work. I don't do any part-time work. I do full-time contracts Monday through Friday. You get over 72 packages in this first example, you get $250 per each additional package. So if you did 100 packages, for example, that's a $270 day. I always say, rule of thumb, when I was driving, I would always take off 20% for gas, even though many times I did not go to 20% for fuel in a day. But that's just the rule of thumb that I use because I'd rather be conservative. So I'm not disappointed at the end of the month. 20% for gas, that's 1/5. So divide 270 by 1/5 or 20%. And that's going to give you your take home pay roughly for a day if you're working with one of my contracts. All right. So I have another opportunity, a different contract, slightly different location. $273 a day is the guaranteed minimum for 78 packages. Why? Why is it so much more money for just a few more packages in terms of the minimum? Well, that's because these packages are all boxes. Generally, the small ones weigh 15 pounds and the heavy ones weigh 50 pounds. So call it 15 to 50 pounds. Whereas the first example, the $200 a day example, is much more like Amazon Flex, where you've got the small poly bags. Those are the plastic bags they put clothing in, all the way up to larger boxes. But in general, the $200 a day routes aren't going to kill you with all these heavy boxes. The $273 a day route that is minimum 78 packages is all boxes. That's why it pays more. But guess what? The guys that are really geared towards that, the ones that are in shape and they know how to lift boxes, they're delivering 100 packages in a day. I got a few guys doing this right now. In fact, more than a few. Honestly, I have about 20 contracts doing this particular type of delivery work for $273 a day. And that's, you do 100 pieces and you're doing more like $350 a day. Now, look, freight goes up and down like a yo-yo. So it's very unlikely that you're going to get more than 100 pieces in a day. But guess what? These are guaranteed minimums. So if it dips below 78 packages, like for example, if I'm very slow and you're only going out with 48 packages, you are still getting a guarantee of $273, even if you only go out with 48 packages. By the way, I didn't harp on this, but also for the first example, if you go out with less than 72 packages, you are still getting a guarantee of $200. So when we're super slow, we're going to take the hit. The contract says we guarantee you money. We stand by that. You're going to be guaranteed that money. So when we're super slow, sometimes I overpay guys. I mean, it's not unusual. You go out with 38 pieces, but I'm promising you 200 a day. You're going to make 200 a day, even though you were done in 3.5 hours. But look, the other side of that coin is when you come in and I've got 110 pieces for you, the assumption is you want to work. So I'm assuming you're going to take all that. And by the way, you start turning down the freight that's in your area, that's on your route. You start saying, "Oh, I can't do that. It's too much." You're one step away from losing your contract at that point. All right, so let's go on to the third option, which is $220 a day. Now, this contract right here is a little unique because this one is set. It's guaranteed set at that amount. So you're never going to make more than that amount. You're never going to make less than that amount. It's 5 days a week. You're still a contractor. You're still an independent owner, operator, still paying 1099 taxes. By the way, all of these jobs are independent contractor. You're paying 1099 taxes. But this one right here is set. It's also unique that we have 3 contracts in 3 locations. So in this case, it's Vienna, Virginia is one, Elk Ridge, Maryland is the other, and Germantown is the third. And these are really unique because you go to Vienna, Virginia, to a location to pick up the freight, not more than 75 pieces. Usually it's 50 to 75 pieces. When it's really slow, it might be less than 50, but you're still going to get your guarantee of 220. But you go to Vienna, load the van, don't stop delivering until you're totally done. Rough rule of thumb, it could be anywhere from 7 to 9 hours, depending on how fast or slow you are. But you're going to start in Vienna at the pickup, and you're going to deliver in Vienna and surrounding areas. Same thing for Elk Ridge. You're going to go to Elk Ridge. You're going to pick up in Elk Ridge at a location, and you're going to deliver in and around Elk Ridge. Same thing for Germantown. Now, the deal with these routes is they also are not set in stone. The pay is set in stone, but how it's actually going to work is not completely clear yet. They are we're still working on the expanding the contract, and they're telling us we might actually get 3 routes per each one of those 3 locations. So that's going to be 9 drivers and 9 routes. So what I'm doing is I'm getting a little bit ahead of it because I don't want to get caught if they light the fuse and give us this contract and say we want to start next week. I need to have drivers ready. Okay, so this is an important point right here. Great point to make. Opportunities come and go each week. There may or may not be anything available right now as you're watching this video. But the thing is, if you follow my process and have all of your qualifying documents together and ready to go, you dramatically increase the chances of you getting one of these routes. Now, if you're an OTR guy, I don't really need to hear from you. If you're an expediter or a hotshot trucker, Not a good fit. If you've got Amazon experience doing final mile delivery, if you've been out here on these apps chasing around the work each day, every morning you wake up and look at Roadie and chase the work. Some days are amazing, and then other days you have nothing. You're looking at Veho, looking at Sparks, looking at any of the stuff that would be considered gig work, and you're tired of chasing the gigs. That's what this is about. If you got a cargo van with experience doing that kind of work, this is a good match. You're going to make more money with me, and it's also going to be more consistent and it's less stressful because you just show up at the warehouse every day at 7:30 and you know what's going to happen. You're going to make $200 at a bare minimum, if not more. Okay, so let's talk about the next idea, which is how do you get qualified to work? Okay, let's talk about these documents. It's very basic. If you're an experienced contractor driver, you're already going to know about this stuff. Valid driver's license. Absolutely must have one. Does it matter if it's from Maryland, DC, or Virginia? No, I don't care where it's from. I just hired a guy and gave him a contract last week with an Arizona driver's license, but he lives in Baltimore now. Next thing, got to have a social security card, a work permit, or TIN papers. Do you have to be a citizen? No. Do you have to be legal to work in the United States based on the guidelines of the federal US government? Yes. That is a social security card, a work permit, or TIN papers. If you are going to run as a business, which is fine with me, you got to have the EIN IRS tax letter. I don't mean a picture of the top third of it. I don't mean your articles of incorporation that you sent to the state that you live in. I'm talking about the federal IRS tax letter that they mailed to you when you first got your EIN number. You must have that letter if you are going to run with me under your business name. Okay, MVR, motor vehicle record, must have a driving record, cannot be older than 30 days of the days that you come in and sign up with me. The record has to be fresh. There are guidelines, but I'm not going to get into that for the purpose of this video. You know, you have a few dings on your motor vehicle record, don't worry, still apply, because you'd be surprised. There's certain things I'm not going to tolerate, but there's other things we understand. Life happens. It's just reasonable. Some things are not reasonable. I'll let you know. Vehicle registration card. You got to have a up-to-date valid registration card. You got to have insurance declaration page. I don't want to see, this is really important. Guys come to me all the time with the wrong insurance information. I gotta be able to see the vehicle that you're giving me the registration card. That vehicle, even if you don't own it, it has to be on the insurance declaration page. I need the declaration page, not the ID card from the insurance company, not the bill from the insurance company, not one page from the declaration page. I need the entire declaration page. You're going to know about the declaration page because, first of all, it's called the declaration page. Second of all, it has all the relevant information, the name of the account holder, the VIN number of the vehicle, the coverage levels, very important, because we require 100,000 bodily injury, 100,000 bodily injury per accident, and $25,000 property damage. I'll say that again because you're probably taking notes. Pause the video, write this down. Minimum coverage levels: 100,000 bodily injury, 100,000 bodily injury per accident, $25,000 property damage. I need to be able to see that on the declaration page. Maybe you're not using your vehicle. Maybe you're using your mother's vehicle, your sister's vehicle, your uncle's vehicle, your son's vehicle. Fine. But the insurance declaration page must show your name as a covered driver of the vehicle that matches the VIN number for the registration you're giving me. So if you're telling me you're in possession of a vehicle that you don't own, as long as you're on the declaration page as a driver, cool. Very important. That's the one thing that trips up more drivers than any other part of this. Don't let that be you. All right. So then I'm going to run the criminal background check. If we end up doing a deal together and get you in here on a contract, I'm going to run it on my side. The motor vehicle record, you can get it yourself for $9, or I can do it. I get it back the same day. They charge me 16. I use a third party to do that. It's up to you. You can get one online for $9. You can walk into any satellite office and scan your ID and get one for $9. Criminal background check, the service I use costs $37. I'm going to break that up and take it out of your first couple of checks. So I'm not hitting you over the head. I get it. You know, we'll let you get going first. Then we'll take it out over the first 2 checks. Okay. So that is the deal. And if you're interested, if you meet the criteria, and let's just review it real quick. You own a cargo van. You've got experience doing final mile delivery. If you don't own the van, your name is on the insurance or whatever arrangement you have. Rentals, no rentals. I'm not going to start a driver in a rental van. We have insurance over top of us for our entire operation. They don't want us starting with rentals. It's an insurance issue. Just don't even try. Okay. I know some of you guys got rentals and you go work for other DSPs doing that. I mean, more power to you. If you want to work with us, no rentals. Now, look, you get down the road, you've been working with us for a few months, you got a nice track record, we have a nice rapport, we're building a business relationship, something happens. You need a new transmission, you have a catastrophic mechanical failure, you're going to be without your van for 10 days while they fix it. You need a rental to get you through. I'll work with you. I'm reasonable, but I'm not starting you on a rental. Okay. So now look, if you meet all these criteria and you're the right guy and you've got the right final mile delivery experience and you're tired of sleeping in your van or you're tired of being an employee for somebody else and you just want to make more than 18 or 19 bucks that the Amazon is paying you, or maybe you've been working for a DSP using your own van and you're only making 19 or 20 bucks an hour, come with us. You're going to make more than that. Your average, if you take it on a monthly basis, the average guy in my operation is making $25 an hour. And that's what it's going to be. Some days are going to suck. Some days are going to be amazing. What I always tell drivers, don't get too discouraged when it's terrible and don't get too happy when it's great, because really what's going to happen is it always comes back to the average. It's going to go up and down like this, like a yo-yo, because the freight levels go up and down like a yo-yo. It's based on consumer spending and nobody has any handle on that. Consumers do whatever they want, and we deliver when they buy. When they buy a lot, we deliver a lot. When they're not active and consumers are tight, we don't have as much freight, but we're covering you with the guaranteed minimum. All right. So if you're ready, you're interested, look in the description of this video. There's a link that I want you to click. You're going to fill it out. I'm going to reach back out to you with more information. Listen, do us both a favor. If you don't own a van, don't fill out the link. If you have a car or an SUV or a small vehicle, I don't want to hear from you. I need a full-size cargo van only. Now, there may be times where I could use a minivan. I'm going to do a separate video on that. Maybe a minivan. Maybe. Okay, so I'm going to amend what I just said. Let's do this. Cargo vans and minivans only. And I'm talking about the kind of minivan where you can either put the seats down in the floor or take the seats out. The contract stipulation is going to change for minivans or small cargo vans like a Ford Connect or a Ram City. Those are small cargo vans. I consider those a minivan. So the payment is going to be less. If you have a minivan or a small cargo van like a Ford Transit Connect or a Ram Pro City, if you fill out my form, I will respond to you and give you parameters for what I pay for a minivan. But for the purposes of this video, I want cargo vans only, full-size cargo. All right, guys, check out the description. Thanks for watching. By the way, keep an eye on the channel. Go ahead and subscribe, because what I'm going to start doing is as I get different contract changes and new work and I need drivers, I'm going to keep making videos, and I'll probably do at least one video a week indefinitely now. So go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and like. You're encouraging me to keep doing this. You're encouraging me to keep sharing my jobs on YouTube to see if I can get better drivers and get a better qualified driver, because I really don't want to be starting guys out and training them and teaching them how to do this work. I love it when a guy comes in with the right experience. Maybe that's you. Maybe you're watching this and the whole time you feel like I'm talking to you directly. If that's you, I want to hear from you. Check out the description. Smash the subscribe and the like button, and I will see you guys on the next video. And you'll hear from me if you fill out my form. You'll hear from me within 24 to 48 hours, I promise. And look, if you're getting value out of the video, drop me a comment. If you got questions about anything, drop me a comment. I will reply. All right, thanks, guys. Take good care. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.